Welcome to NextGear's Track Series. Today we'll be covering Event 1 of 15 this season with GPS track time in the Advanced Group at Autobahn South. Now I decided to start the season the same way I did last year, with a 335i to get warmed up for the much faster laps that are to come later this year with the S2000 and M3. Now I had several goals for the day. First, my main goal was to try and beat my best time from last year of a 1:51:02. In addition, I wanted to see how the oil temperature held up after installing the Sport oil cooler valve and switching to the VP Racing Stay Frosty coolant. Last year, I went into limp mode on a few occasions later on in some sessions, and I was hopeful that these changes would resolve this issue and that I would hopefully not need to install an additional oil cooler. Now, in addition to that, I wanted to do some runs with the traction control disabled to see how my lap times compared to when it was enabled, as it was kicking in quite frequently on normal acceleration when I had previously brought it here. Now, it ended up being a great, albeit chilly and windy event with the temperatures in the low 60s and 30-mile-per-hour winds, where there was no interruption in any of the 7 20-minute sessions that I was in. Now, Session 1 ended up being a great warm-up where I was already able to beat my previous year's best and got a 1:48:90. In Session 2, I was able to eke out a bit more time in this run that you're seeing right now. I even waved by 2 other cars during this lap, so I knew there was a bit more time there to get shaved off. In regards to the cooling of the car that I was testing, it never went above 260, which is about 20 degrees cooler than it was getting last year. So while it's still a bit hotter than I was hoping, it does appear to have kept it within an acceptable range. We will have to see if the hotter temperatures this summer change anything when we bring it here for Autobahn Full in its final test. My best time of the day was achieved on Session 3, where I was able to manage a lap of 1:46:02 with traction control on. Now, it really felt like that was on the limit of what I could get in this car with these Indy 500 tires and OEM brakes, unless I could eke out just a little bit more time with traction control off. Now, I spent Sessions 4 through 7 using different levels of traction control and was never able to get anywhere near my Session 3 time and normally averaged in the 1:47 to 1:48 range without traction control. By the end of the day, it was also clear that my rear brakes were cooked and needed to be replaced. I knew they were getting close to needing to be done before this event, but this event definitely finished them off, and I think it really hurt my braking into those later sessions of the day. That being said, I think it will be hard to find another second or so on this track with this tire and brake setup. So I'll be excited to come back here again next year and see if I can get just a bit more time off without going to a track tire and brake setup. Now, I'm going to have to tinker some more with the traction control at my first visit to Blackhawk Farms here in a few weeks, and we'll see if I can manage to get some faster times with it off, but thus far it seems as if the brief interruptions from traction control are helping me out. I'll go ahead and be quiet for the best lap of the day. The comparison time you see here is against my best lap in the S2000. Hope you join me again in a few weeks when I take the S2000 to Road America for the first time in my second event of the year on April 28th. Enjoy the run all.